I got that animal ambition. I got that animal ambition. I got that.
What's up, y'all? Smoak here. What's good? In this video, this is gonna be part 4 of 11 dead wrestlers' first and last matches in the WWE. While last video we watched Chad Gaspard, now we're gonna be looking at somebody of controversy in Chris Benoit, a former world champion in WWE and in WCW as well, if you want to say that. WCW lost all credibility in terms of like a major promotion toward the end of its run, as it was just now a laughing stock. It was no more like on par to WWE. He was a fantastic in-ring worker. He wasn't a great overall sports entertainer because his promos, he was just never that guy, you know. I guess it was like good enough to pass it around, you know, as he was constantly working at the mid-card, but as a main eventer, no way. And his world championship run too, like, showed it. He don't got that it factor, don't got the charisma. If he was, obviously he'll succeed more, but that just wasn't his forte. Let's take a look at this video.
Chris Benoit began his training when he was just a teenager in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. He got trained by both Stu Hart, the father of Bret Hart, as well as Stu's other son, Bruce Hart. Benoit was trained in the Hart family dungeon, which was located in the basement of Stu Hart's home. Once Chris Benoit finished high school in 1985, he made his professional debut, performing in Stu Hart's own promotion, Stampede Wrestling. Benoit took inspiration from Dynamite Kid, one of the wrestlers he idolized the most. In 1986, Benoit continued his training in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and made his debut in that promotion the same year. Back in Canada, Chris Benoit remained a part of Stampede Wrestling, but in 1989, the company shut down. However, that wasn't the only thing that changed for Benoit. Back in New Japan, Benoit, who had just been wrestling under his real name, changed his persona to that of the masked performer, the Pegasus Kid. Around this time, Chris Benoit started to really shine, as he began to have more critically acclaimed matches. This helped him get opportunities to perform, not just in Japan, but all around the world. In 1994, Benoit found himself in ECW. There he got the moniker of the Crippler, largely due to accidentally breaking the neck of Sabu. Benoit didn't stay in ECW for too long, as in 1985, his work visa expired, and he was forced to leave.
They're gonna be nicknamed the Crippler because you accidentally broke a dude's neck, bro. Not even kayfabe. I don't think it was kayfabe. That's wild.
But Benoit wouldn't spend too much time outside of the US, because later that year, he would sign with WCW. The opportunity came because of the working relationship New Japan and WCW had. It's also worth mentioning that Benoit did have a small run in WCW between 1982 and 1983. Chris Benoit did pretty well for himself in WCW, as he won the World Tag Team Championship twice, the World Television Championship 3 times, and was a 2-time United States Heavyweight Champion. While things on-screen went well, backstage was a different story. Benoit had a rough relationship with head WCW booker Kevin Sullivan, and disagreements with management of the company. Benoit's last appearance in WCW was in January 2000 at the Sold Out pay-per-view, where he won the World Heavyweight Championship, a last-ditch effort to keep Benoit in WCW. But Chris Benoit had made up his mind, and left for the WWE, along with Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn. Benoit is
That's wild, bro. He won the world title, said, "Nah, I'm still out, bro. F this." My gosh, man. You could tell that show, WCW, was a total shit show. Like, Bret Hart, man, he said something like, the show is run by a bunch of monkeys or something like that. And that's not even a racist remark. They're just saying how dumb they were, bro. And when it came to writing, creative and stuff, I was like, wow. No, don't quote me on that, but he said something like that. It was wild.
The other former WCW colleagues made their first appearance in the WWE on the January 31st, 2000 broadcast of Raw. During a match that involved the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg took a shot at Chris Benoit, which caused Benoit and everyone else to attack the Outlaws. Benoit, Saturn, Malenko, and Guerrero then appeared on SmackDown and were dubbed the Radicals, and it was here that Chris Benoit had his first WWE match. Chris Benoit's first opponent in the WWE was the then WWE Champion Triple H, and the match was shown on the February 3rd, 2000 episode of SmackDown. The match started off with a bit of a power play. Both wrestlers got in each other's faces and struggled with each other to try and gain the upper hand. Chris Benoit was eventually able to get the advantage, but Triple H slowed it down by getting outside the ring. This proved to be a smart move by the game, as he was able to get a few hits in and take control. Perhaps Triple H got too comfortable, because Chris Benoit was able to get back to where he left off after a few strikes. Triple H tried to escape to the outside again, but Benoit responded with a baseball slide. Benoit continued the fight ringside, but after a drop toe hold, Benoit fell hard on the steel steps, and Triple H was back in the driver's seat. The game got Benoit back into the ring, and continued to wear him down. Chris Benoit and Triple H would go back and forth for a bit, with neither one being able to get a definitive advantage. But after a few punches to the head and a clothesline, Benoit was finally able to direct the match and hit some bigger moves. The fight looked to be finished when Chris Benoit started climbing the top rope, but Triple H pulled the referee into the ropes, causing Benoit to lose his balance. This gave Triple H the chance to hit a superplex, which knocked the wind out of the crippler. The cerebral assassin tried to end the match with a pedigree, but Benoit countered and accidentally shot Triple H into the referee. Chris Benoit locked in the crippler crossface.
Yo, ref bumps, bro, be so inconvenient. Why are you just standing in the corner, bro? You know you're supposed to move.
And accidentally shot Triple H into the referee. Chris Benoit locked in the crippler crossface and even got Triple H to tap out, but due to the referee being down, the bell was not run. Benoit locked in the crossface again, but Triple H was able to cause a rope break. With victory so close, Chris Benoit climbed to the top rope and hit a diving headbutt. However, the referee was still hurting, which caused a slow count and gave enough time for Triple H to kick out. Triple H used the referee's drowsy state to hit a quick low blow and followed up with a pedigree, which got him the victory. While a tough match, it looked as though Chris Benoit would have been able to defeat the game had it not been for the issue with the referee. With Chris Benoit's debut match done, let's continue.
And no doubt, that was good storytelling.
Despite starting out as opponents, Chris Benoit and the rest of the Radicals would join Triple H. Benoit would win his first championship in WWE about 2 months after making his debut, when he beat Chris Jericho and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 16 to claim the Intercontinental Championship, a title he would hold 3 more times. In 2001, he would win the tag team titles with Chris Jericho. Benoit would also win tag team championships with Kurt Angle and Edge. In 2002, during the original brand split, Chris Benoit spent a short amount of time as a part of the Raw brand, before being moved to SmackDown. While Benoit did a lot on the Blue Show, one of his biggest moments came when he won the 2004 Royal Rumble. This led to him winning the World Heavyweight Championship,
And that was a good Royal Rumble match too.
in the main event of WrestleMania 20. In 2005, Benoit would pursue the United States Championship and ultimately won the title at that year's SummerSlam and would go on to be a 3-time champion. Chris Benoit spent a significant chunk of his WWE career on SmackDown, but in 2007, Benoit would be drafted to the ECW brand, and where he would have his last match in WWE. Chris Benoit's final match was actually a qualifying match for the vacated ECW Championship, and it took place on June 19, 2007. Benoit and his last opponent, Elijah Burke, started by taking each other down to the mat and trying to secure a hold on one another. The first minute and a half went back and forth, with neither performer being able to gain the advantage. Eventually, Elijah Burke was able to seduce Benoit with a few hard strikes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Burke kept the crippler down by continuing to use mostly kicks and punches. But the tide changed when Burke got caught in the ropes, allowing Chris Benoit to get his payback. Benoit's fast-paced offense didn't give Elijah Burke a moment to recover. That was until Benoit tried to perform a diving headbutt, which Burke countered with a knee. However, this only temporarily kept Benoit down, as he's able to dodge a double running knee and lock in the sharpshooter for the tap-out win. This victory gave Chris Benoit a championship match at the Vengeance pay-per-view, but that of course didn't happen. Chris Benoit was absent at WWE's weekend shows, as well as Vengeance. On June 25, 2007, a day after the Vengeance event, police would discover the bodies of Chris Benoit's wife and son, as well as Benoit's, in their home. WWE responded by turning Raw into a tribute to Chris Benoit. However, it was later found out that same day that Benoit had murdered his family and committed suicide. Ever since then, the subject of Chris Benoit has rarely been brought up by WWE. It was easily one of the saddest and darkest days in pro wrestling history.
And rightfully so, to be honest. So when I read about that incident, he left Bibles behind for each body. That man was off his rockers, man, that night, man, if he really did that. I know it was tragic news, bro, for his older son, who was living with his mom over in Canada at the time. To hear about that, it hurts like hell, bro. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Peace, I'm out.